Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's the Wrestling Classic. Justin here, back with Devon Law for another episode, the 10th episode. We've made it to 10 episodes. It's a thing of the TWC show. 10 episodes. Didn't think we were going to make this far.
Yeah, it's fun. I'm glad we did.
You've only been on like 7, though, because you're too good for the show. 7? 8?
Well, you keep trying to replace me, and everybody's in your DMs trying to replace me.
No one's trying to replace you. No one in my DMs is trying to replace you, and you're not going to be replaced.
Every other Mark trying to get on the show.
Other people want to be on the show, and I think moving forward, we're going to have other people on the show occasionally.
Like, really,
with
man?
us.
Like, are you like messaging people, like trying to get on Grey's Anatomy and shit, too? Like, who does that?
I don't know.
Who does that?
They want to be on the TWC show and talk wrestling.
What makes you think you should be on here talking wrestling?
Because I think when people get the opportunity to have the platform to talk wrestling,
yeah,
they want to do. And look how much fun we have every week.
Yeah.
You know, it's fun. I have a blast every week. And then, you know, like, after we're done, what do we say? Like, well, man, we can't wait to come back in the studio in the vibe and record again with the judge over here and do the thing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
For the first time, I'll openly say, though, I don't know. Not like a lot happened, but not a lot happened.
You still had to say it.
Well, like a lot happened, but like not a lot happened.
Any shit happened.
Like, I don't know.
Most of what we got to talk about is stuff that's coming up.
Because next week is like a lot of stuff. And everything's happening next week. SmackDown's moving to Fox. AEW makes its television premiere on TNT. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that right now, actually.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the name Dynamite?
I mean, it's a name like anything else. It'll end up growing on you, or you just get used to it.
I think if you don't say AEW Dynamite, but you start referring to it as Wednesday Night Dynamite, it doesn't sound so bad.
See, that's like something I would never put that much thought into it. And I'm pretty sure I called it Wednesday Night Dynamite like weeks ago on the show in front of you.
I never put that much thought into it, but like when I posted about it, people were commenting, and someone's like, well, someone said that. Like, well, if you call it Wednesday Night Dynamite, it doesn't sound bad. And I'm like, you know what? That's actually true. Because you didn't, like, did we ever say WCW Nitro? Like, we might have, but most of the time it was Monday Nitro. We just say Monday Nitro.
It's the name of a show, man. It could be called the Flower Hour.
No one says WWE Raw. You just say Raw.
Yeah.
So once I think people just would quick to jump on the name and judge it and give it a crap because like it's very similar to I guess like Nitro, I guess, and it's on TNT, so there's a lot of like parallels and comparisons, but that you can make. But at the end of the day, like
I don't know, on gun to your head, first reaction, boom, without thinking. I think almost anybody's first reaction would be like, eh.
Yeah, and that's fair. I wasn't like in love with the name, that's for sure. But I don't hate it. And it grew on me. I think you're right. It will grow on people. I'm looking forward to the show though. If anything that the AEW pay-per-views have showed us is that their shows provide us with a little bit of everything, and let's see if they can carry that on for a week-to-week basis because we've been saying
a show full of real stars according to Kenny Omega when nobody even knows half their roster.
Didn't he say something about like he called NXT the development brand? Like we're not a development brand. We're realistically what they're trying to do with the NXT is saying like no, this is now going to be the third brand. I hope that's what they're trying to do. It seems like it.
I don't know. It's good. It got people fired up, and that's all we want with wrestling, isn't it?
No, 100%. And speaking of NXT, they had the second week of television this week. I didn't really get to watch it yet. Like once again, when the studio Wednesday night doesn't air on TV. What I saw while I was watching SmackDown, though, the way that it's going to be in Canada for all those people wondering like how are we supposed to watch NXT in Canada live? You can still go on the network on Thursday and watch it. But if you don't have the network and you're a Canadian that doesn't have the network and you want to watch NXT, it's supposedly airing on Fridays prior to SmackDown. And then, so pretty much
some like wrestling block on Friday.
Yeah, so basically it's Aftermath for half an hour, which is a show with Caroline Sfed, Nug, Jimmy Corderas, and Santino Marella. His real name's Anthony
Corelli.
That's what it is. They're due Aftermath, and if you're in Canada and you have sports, you familiar faces. Obviously, you guys know Santino and Jimmy Corderas, and Nug is on Aftermath, and Caroline's like all over Sportsnet, so plays the week, month, or whatever, and everything. She does it all. So you guys recognizable faces. That would be first. Then it's supposed to be an hour of NXT, which confuses me because it says NXT is like from I think 4 to 5. Like it's only the hour. Are they just showing the first hour always in Canada?
I haven't even looked it up. I'm gonna be watching it on the network on Thursdays.
No, in the fair, but I'm just. For the people in Canada that showed it, that's for an hour. I think it showed it that's from 4 to...
Honestly, anytime anything moves to Friday, that means I'm probably not going to watch it.
It's hard. Yeah. And then anyways, then it's SmackDown, and after SmackDown, they're putting on main event.
I think we're getting screwed in the West Coast for SmackDown, too. Because typically the way Fox does stuff is they'll play it at 8 o'clock Eastern, and then we won't get it until it's 8 o'clock Pacific.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you think
That's kind of how Fox does stuff. Like, you know how you'll see, if you don't have the channel, you'll see like brand new Simpsons on. And it's 5 o'clock our time in the West Coast.
Yeah.
But you don't get that until 8 o'clock our time.
And if you're someone with a lot of channels and you pay for those extras, sometimes you'll see that some of those shows come
like,
on
really,
early.
man,
And you're like, what's
I don't
going
want
on?
spoilers, especially when it first starts. Like, I'm going to have to stay off Twitter for 3, 4, 5 hours. I can't do that.
Well,
I don't have that kind of willpower.
The best thing about SmackDown Live was the fact that it was live and we didn't have the spoilers. I think my entire life, the issue with watching SmackDown back then when it was on Friday and even when it was on Thursdays, it was like, no matter how hard you tried, like SmackDown always kind of got spoiled.
There was about 10 years where it wasn't though, because I wasn't looking at anything till at least like 2011.
No, for sure. I'm just saying like there's like when it was on Friday, I just wasn't watching generally.
No.
When it moved to Friday, like that 2008, 2009, like whenever it was that moved to Friday, I'd tune in if I was home, but it wasn't something I watched. Like I a lot of that stuff during that era, like the whole CM Punk, Jeff Hardy feud, like I went back and watched it, but I don't remember really watching it live.
I would have never had periods where I wasn't watching if we had PVR back then.
No, 100%. But like, do you remember the whole feud between Vladimir Kozlov and Triple H? Like,
no.
That stuff all flew over my head.
I remember seeing him in the video games because my brother used to buy the video games. I'd be like, who are these people?
And we can both talk about that because there's been many times where you've come to my house or I've come to your house and we've thrown on like a random 2010 SmackDown and we're like, who's this guy? When was this guy on the roster? Who the hell's Pablo Escobar or whatever his name is? Erick Escobar.
You're the same way with wrestling that you are with music. You like to give it a few seconds and then go next and then go next and then go next. And I'm just sitting there like, oh, like let's just watch this. This is kind of, I don't know anything about this show.
Like so many random feuds. I'm like Big Show versus Alberto Del Rio. We're having some crazy feud. Sheamus and Big Show. Like all this stuff. Man, it was Jack Swagger and Big Show.
That was good. Big Show destroyed all his trophies.
Yeah, but I don't remember any of that because I wasn't watching because it was on Fridays.
So you can't. It's not you weren't aware of any of it. How would you remember something you never saw?
100% no. But you know what I mean. That's what I'm trying to say. So like, I didn't recall anything because it was on Fridays. I didn't watch it, and then. I think it'll be different now because one, there's PVR. Two, I don't go out as much as I did when I was a teenager on the weekends.
I mean, as long as I can see myself after, Fridays, like, you work all week, Fridays for the drinks.
Yeah.
I think I could see myself, just waking up, making my way to the couch and just watching it Saturday afternoon, Saturday
100%.
morning.
And it would be nice to have some Saturday morning wrestling like
and
that.
it's still only 2 hours. That's easy to fly through. That's like an hour and a half, especially fast forwarding the stuff I don't really care about. I mean, I don't think it'll kind of be nice. It'll give me something to do Saturday during the day.
I'm excited for it though. I'm excited that's moving to Friday. I'm excited that's still live. I think
I'm excited to see what it looks like. I think it's going to look really sharp.
Well, they said this was the last week they're using the stages that they're using. Everybody's getting a facelift. I hope it's not the same stages for Raw and Smackdown. I hope they are distinct like they have been for the past
Bring
3-4
something
years.
like the fist back. I would love that.
I like the fact that the logos are changing for both shows. I love when things are fresh. Even though it hasn't been that long, like I just love it when things are fresh.
I want them both to have opening intro songs like we're used to too.
Yeah, and actually show the videos before the show. I understand if every random episode they don't because they got a lot to put on TV. But I hate
I like when they had that Nickelback song. I was down with that.
Burn it down to the ground or whatever. Great song. I used to get amped, right?
Yeah.
Like, and that's the thing. I always watch Raw, and that's the thing about Raw. It's like it's always been easy to watch Raw because it's always been on Monday. It's always been on at the same time.
It's like built into your routine.
Yeah, you almost watch it like out of habit, and like Monday's the day you go to school, you go to work, you come home, you're not like going out that night. Like it's and the fact that like you go into Raw, whether it ends up being good or bad, you go into it like with the idea of like I don't know what's gonna happen. Like I said, the tapings for SmackDown was kind of what ruined me back today. They're not taping it no more though. It's still live on Fridays.
Yeah.
I wonder how that's going to work because they probably got so comfortable doing Monday, Tuesdays and the way they had their days off and stuff, right?
Yeah, well, it's not going to be as good for the announcers. They're going to have to work Friday night.
Well, I heard they're going to actually fully separate the teams now. Like, I don't think Graves is going to be doing double duty anymore.
No.
Most of this is not back to back.
I really hope the rumors of the two-man booth is true.
I like the three-man booth if it's
Nobody
the right
likes
people.
The three-man booth.
I do. I just liked in WCW and I like the idea, but I don't think both shows need three-man booth.
Yeah.
Like I think Raw. I think
no
Raw
show needs a three-man booth.
I think Raw could use a three-man. SmackDown could do a two-man.
No.
I think for 3 hours hearing the same two voices, or if they do what we talked about weeks ago, where if they every hour they change.
It doesn't matter if it's 3 hours. If it's good and they're not bickering with each other and not they're off on their own tangents, it'll be good.
But I mean, like we talked about a few weeks ago, like how it was nice to have a change of commentators every hour. Like if they did something like that too, switch up from first hour to second hour, like I would even like that.
Yeah, change the color commentator up.
Yeah, like if on the first hour it's this person, second hour it's that person, just give us something different. Like I think I'd like that too. Maybe two-man booth, but switch up who the commentators are in the first and second hour. I'd be down with that.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like they did in WCW back then. At the beginning was I do dislike hearing the same person week after week, the same, and the jokes are the same jokes, and there's some funny stuff.
You do like it or you don't like it?
I don't like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. WWE's never had a 3-man booth that worked. I think the closest thing they had was when it was. I think JBL was good on the 3-man booth. He didn't really step on too many people's toes. He only said the things that he was saying.
Yeah.
So I think that was the closest to and a serviceable 3-man booth they've done.
No, that's fair. So the SmackDown Live era, though, was what, 2016 to
the AJ Styles era, baby.
How do you like? What are your highlights of the SmackDown Live era? Like, what are the things that you remember from 2016 to today that this era on USA SmackDown Live? Like, what are some of its greatest moments?
AJ Styles talking smack.
The top run, the house that AJ Styles built.
Yeah. I
gotta say.
Well, right when that brand split happened, there was a good 2 years where there wasn't a single week where Raw was better than SmackDown.
No, it's 100%. Yeah. And SmackDown was killing it on all cylinders, man. Whether it was, the Cena stuff. Like, Cena had a lot of dream matches before he kind of disappeared against guys like Shinsuke. He fought Orton again on SmackDown. They made SmackDown feel important. He's facing Orton again. He's facing Shinsuke on SmackDown. He's facing this guy. There are some things that, like, I'm glad we got to see that only happened because of the SmackDown Live era. Like, I don't know if we would have ever seen Bray win the WWE Championship if there wasn't the brand split in that SmackDown Live era. I don't know if Dean Ambrose would ever got that little run that he got at the beginning if there wasn't that brand split. I think one of the biggest things that happened on that and during this period of time that probably wouldn't have happened if there wasn't a brand split in SmackDown Live is the run of the Maharaja Jinder Mahal, which was like
that was great, good
shocking
time. That was
and
a good time.
Unpredictable, and like someone put up a picture on Twitter, and I think it was Ringside News, has been floating around of all the champions of that era.
Yeah.
And you look at the guys that had the belts during that time, and there were some people that you would assume would have the belt, guys like Cena and Randy Orton and
do not remember. I looked at that picture. I don't remember Cena having the belt at all.
Remember because Styles had it, then Cena beat him, then Bray beat Cena in the Elimination Chamber, then Orton won it. That, like, 4 of those 5 of those champions happened all in the span of like 4 months.
For some reason, I thought Bray beat Ambrose.
No, it was Ambrose, then AJ, then Cena, then Bray, then Orton, and then Jinder went on a long run.
Right, and then AJ won it right before Survivor Series.
And then AJ went on a long run.
Yeah.
And then we got to Bryan and Kofi. But once again, guys,
Jinder had some really good main event matches.
He did, and his run is really underappreciated. And
he was just a straight up heel, man.
Yeah, like people hated him, and they still hate him. He's a hated champion.
There's no gray area.
How many heels on that picture were actually hated?
Yeah.
Bray wasn't hated. Bryan wasn't hated as a heel. Everyone loved it. Jinder's like the only guy that's on there who was a heel that people actually disliked as champion, which means he was a good heel.
Yeah. The whole package with the Singh brothers, the red carpet, the nice suits he wore.
And he never won clean properly like a real heel shouldn't. He never did things that made the fans pop because a heel shouldn't make the fans pop. The one thing, if I was going to say anything negative about that run, is that, and I don't think it's Jinder's fault, I'd blame this more on like whoever was giving the final say on the writing for the promos and stuff, is that there was a point where they kept having to come out week by week cutting the same promo without changing it.
Yeah.
Where it would have helped him if they just changed it a little bit. That's the only thing I had. Remember the one you come on the carpet and you make fun of Shinsuke, but it was like the same promo week after week? That's the only thing that I think was bad, but everything else about it was great.
Yeah, people were real choke when he started making fun of Shinsuke.
Yeah. But things that happened on SmackDown Live. Who else got over it in the SmackDown Live era? I'm
honestly trying to think of the undercard, and I can't remember it.
James Ellsworth got over in SmackDown Live era.
Yeah.
KO and AJ had a great feud for the United States title in the SmackDown Live era while Jinder was champ.
Yeah, none of their matches weren't very good, though.
The New Day and the Usos had a great feud as a tag team.
Yeah, really good.
While on SmackDown
Live. The Usos the whole time.
The Usos, the moment that draft happened, became like a whole new Usos. We got the Uso Penitentiary.
Yeah, they were killing it on SmackDown.
And who else made their mark in SmackDown? Alexa Bliss made her mark in SmackDown Live before she got
both shows. Both shows.
Yeah, but her initial breakout point was on SmackDown Live. That was her breakout moment. Was on SmackDown Live. She reintroduced us to Mickie James with the La Luchador thing. You know what I mean? Like, that's a SmackDown Live moment. Baron Corbin losing the Money in the Bank in the most funny way was a SmackDown. And he lost it to Jinder Mahal. He tried to cash in on Jinder Mahal and lost because of Cena. Like, that's a SmackDown Live moment. Daniel Bryan going from general manager to becoming an active again in the ring and teaming with Shane. Like, Shane being the GM at first, it was a good run. And I just think SmackDown, James Ellsworth. They got James Ellsworth over on SmackDown Live.
I really do. Or did enjoy having it on Tuesdays too.
Yeah,
it was kind of cool. It was like, especially because 99% of the time Raw would leave a pretty sour taste in your mouth. So it'd be like, okay, SmackDown will bring me back up every week.
And it was good to have it back to back because you had Raw Monday, you had SmackDown Tuesday, and you were done with the week.
No, some people actually watch NXT.
No, and I know that too, but I mean, like, you got those 2 shows out of the way. You know what I mean? And for people like us who are going to record this show in the middle of the week every week, it's going to be kind of tough to watch SmackDown Friday, go through a weekend, watch Raw, watch NXT, and then try to come in here and talk about SmackDown. Because we always say it almost every week, like, after a few days after a show, we kind of forget what happened. And I already kind of forget what happened on Raw.
I forget the next day, man, just because nothing impactful happens. And, like, they don't do comedy that well. And the storylines aren't that great. So it's very easily to forget. But it's also not that horrible that, like, because when stuff's really bad, you remember that too. So nothing is bad to the level that you can't forget it either.
No, 100%. But yeah, SmackDown Fox is cool. It also, for it to be on such a popular network, other than, not that USA is not popular, but like here in Canada, like we don't have USA, like, you know, it's to be on a network that you can get in.
No, it has nothing to do with being in Canada. Like, whether you're, like, let's just say in the States, like, Fox is network television, USA is cable.
Yeah,
you have to pay for that channel. That's the big thing.
I know, but I just also, it reminds me of like when SmackDown was first on UPN. It felt like it was on a channel.
That's what it's like.
That is really popular within the culture.
That's the most comparable.
Yeah. That's what it's trying to get to.
It's not even a popular. It has nothing to do with popular, because I don't think Fox is that popular. I think it's just a matter of every single person has it.
Yeah, because when it was on UPN, like that was like its hottest time, you know, like that initial.
That's also when it first started, and it's also when it was like their, like, you know, golden time.
Yeah, that's true. But I just remember those, you know, like UPN, it being on UPN seemed like such a big deal because I was like a channel that people watched for so many other things other than wrestling. Yeah, I remember, you know? Even
for Raw, like, so many people didn't have channel 30 when we were growing up. Yeah. So many people's channels stopped at 29.
Yeah.
And so many people would be like watching it on like blurry vision, or they'd have to like come to my house or go to someone's house to go watch it.
Yeah.
Remember that cable package when we were growing up? Where everybody, your channel stopped it. We're over here, we were watching like...
It was like 28 because you wouldn't get much music either. I think much was 29 back then.
We were here watching like, you know, Superstation channel 47. Yeah. And then we had like Teletoon on channel 50, Family Channel 51.
Food Network still 50 after all these years.
And then you had these peasants over here. You only got channel 28. Get out of here. Get out of here.
They could only watch SmackDown because it was on channel 14 on UPN.
Yeah, for like a few years.
Those were the days, man. Those were the days. They're getting Pyro back. That's a rumor. The Pyro's coming back.
Oh, I hope it's a true rumor.
Which honestly, I don't think like it makes everything better, 100%. But some people's
good way to open the show, and some people's entrances really need.
That's what I was gonna say. Some people's entrances, like when AJ Styles makes an entrance, a bang happens and nothing happens.
Like, honestly, man,
it's so weird.
I don't know what their infatuation is with CFO, but a lot of the entrance themes are not good. So you need some pyro.
Yeah, no, the pyro made a lot of, like, Brock doing the apron thing and things not, Kane doing his arm thing and there's no pyro. Like, it's just weird. How do you make, like, Kane do this whole little thingy?
Yeah, and the pyro. When they stopped doing pyro, it was a really good time for him to disappear, I guess.
Yeah. But yeah, man, SmackDown next week. AEW, I still have no idea how we're supposed to watch in Canada. They made some announcement about UK though. Mm-hmm. What was that?
ITV. It's first, I think when it's aired live, it's on Fight for like $4 or $5, something stupid. You have to pay $5 every time you want to watch the show.
Yeah.
But then they're gonna have it, I think on Friday on their ITV channel, and like ITV is like, I lived there for a couple of years. ITV is like one channel everybody gets.
Oh, so why would anyone pay the $5 to watch it live?
Is
that what Jim Cornette said?
That's what I'm getting. No.
What did Cornette say? You said Cornette said something.
No.
Oh,
it's Jimmy Corderas.
Oh, Jimmy Corderas said that.
Well, he was talking about how like there's such a lack of outrage where it's like, you know, if anybody else announced that deal, they'd be like, what the hell is this? Like, you want us to pay for it, but then you're giving it free a few days later. And then, which, I mean, he's right. People will bring out like one or two criticisms of AEW and be like, look, see, people do criticize it. But it's just like, nah, not at the same level, man. People really, 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 really try hard not to criticize it.
Oh, no, everyone's giving them the benefit of the doubt because they're not the WWE.
And it's not even benefit of the doubt, man. They just like...
favoritism?
It's just, they're just blinders.
Yeah. Because they do bad stuff too. You know?
Well, yeah.
You're right. Social media's like that. But it's the hardcore AEW fans, you know? It's the hardcore Marky Marks that like love AEW so much that just aren't gonna...
I don't know why that got me.
Why?
You're right. Social media's like that. Well, like, did we just become best friends?
I don't know.
Wow. I've got a newfound respect for you.
It is. Like, there are some people that like AEW can do no wrong.
Yeah. That's how you know they've never watched one of their pre-shows.
I'm rooting for AEW. I support AEW. I have their back. But listen, man, they're bound to make mistakes too. They're a brand new company. That's like saying the WWE didn't make mistakes in the early 80s. Hell yeah, they did. But I don't know, man. Everyone just needs to enjoy the ride.
People just got a love affair with AEW and all the dorks.
I know what I have a love affair with? A girl, Carmella. Wow, can't even say her name. And she is the new 24/7 champion, which, you know, we're rocking the Carmella jacket because Mella has money and she's the 24/7 champion.
The things that he actually needs to pronounce properly, he messes up somehow.
I know. I don't know.
It's Maestro.
Yeah, and it's Carmella.
Carmella. What are you, from Boston? New York? Hey, Carmella, you want a pizza?
Okay, Carmella.
Yeah.
Carmella is the new 24/7 champion. I think we're both too tired for this show. I don't know. Eller. Hey. Anyways, Carmella's the new 24/7 champion. She beat R-Truth. She pinned him. R-Truth was happy about it.
Show these guys the back of your jacket.
They've seen the back of the jacket. I don't know if they can see the back.
Chalkline. Why do you do Carmella dirty like that? She doesn't look like that.
Her hair color's changed.
Why you gotta make her look like a dude?
What do you mean?
Give us a promo code.
Carmella. I'm gonna rock this jacket everywhere, man. Carmella is the shit, and Chalkline is dropping some heat, dude. I missed out on the.
I mean, really, they're smart because like all you had to do is you take your blank Bret Hart jackets and then just put Carmella stuff on there. It's like the same sleeves.
It's not really.
Oh yeah,
it's a little different.
Pretty similar.
I don't think
different
so.
color chalk.
Different color chalk. I don't think that's how it works.
Yeah.
But
it's called Chalkline.
Anyways, Carmella's a 24/7 champion. That's what we're getting at,
and
I'm down with it because Mella's money. And we waited for it to turn on Truth, but they seem like they start paired together. And now they got women chasing the title. And one of the funniest things I saw on social media.
Kairi Sane?
Not even Kairi Sane, which is funny.
She's running with her telescope. I was like, yes.
But the fact that
that's so funny, man.
But the fact that they had Carmella, the fact that the people were complaining that Asuka was chasing the title. Like, I don't know. Has the high and mighty Asuka fallen?
I make like a really strong effort not to let stuff like that bother me anymore, because if they're not going to take it that serious, why should I? But it's impossible to argue.
Has Asuka fallen?
It's impossible to argue with the people who are bothered by that, because she is and was a killer, the most dominant champion.
She was literally just a SmackDown women's champion earlier this year.
She tapped out Becky Lynch at Royal Rumble.
The only one to really beat Becky Lynch.
It's just, I said, I try not to let things like that bother me anymore, because like I said, I just want to enjoy it. I just want to watch it for what it is. Yeah. If they're not going to take it that seriously, they obviously don't want me to take it that seriously, so why bother? I'm just going to enjoy it. But it's impossible to argue with people who are bothered by that, because...
Why?
Huh?
Why?
I just explained it. She's a killer.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's essentially in the wrestling world, within like WWE NXT storyline, she was a killer on the level of Ronda Rousey. Would you ever see Ronda Rousey doing something like that?
Definitely not.
And that's why it's a problem.
I just want you to elaborate more on it.
Yeah.
For the purpose
well,
of the show.
I get it. You didn't watch NXT, so you don't get
I did watch NXT, and I remember when she was on a hot streak. I know she never lost the title. She got called up, and then they just dropped it, and then Ember Moon finally won it after Ember Moon couldn't beat her like 30 times.
Shout out to Ember Moon for kicking Lacey right in the neck, though.
But then she jobbed to Lacey Evans.
Yeah, well, she's Ember Moon. What is she supposed to do?
To a really bad sharpshooter.
Yeah.
But
she fell over.
That Max Moon meme that he sent me was hilarious.
As Canadian kids, we practiced the sharpshooter our whole life, so I know I'm not a professional wrestler. I've never been trained. I know I'm not as big as some of the wrestlers are. Yeah. But when you see a really bad sharpshooter, it's just like, did you like? Are you sure you've trained before? When you see a sharpshooter that bad, it's like, do you really even know what you're doing?
Like, what's the excuse? Is there an excuse that she's too tall or something? Like, I don't get it.
There is no excuse.
There isn't, right? Like, if you know how to apply a sharpshooter,
she went to go talk some smack and fell over.
That was bad.
Yo, people were so mad about that video with the cop.
Yeah, dude,
just you know what? Just give me a second here.
No, go knock yourself out.
And it pisses me off because all the people that don't watch wrestling always say, you know wrestling's fake, right? You know wrestling's fake, right? And then they get worked by a clearly set up video. It was clearly set up. What? She is on the road working for WWE. You think she's stupid enough to speak like that to a police officer? And not even that. You could tell by the way the officer is like, he was all part of the joke, but people were taking it was on CTV News, Global News.
They don't know the difference between
people were taking. So you make fun of us for so long saying, you know it's fake, you know it's fake, you know it's fake. You don't know it's fake. You guys all caught it hook, line, and sinker, man.
And it's like, dude, like,
how dare she do that? Oh, she's a bad representative, blah, blah, blah. No, you know what? She did some good heel work. Hey, and you know what? Made me hate her more.
One thing I'll say, and I've said this many times, like, when it comes to Lacey Evans, and I've said this many times on the show, is that her character work is great.
Mm-hmm.
It's tremendous. And she lives the character as much as she can, more than other people do on social media. Other people don't go that far above and beyond. Just Kevin Owens and people that do, they're just as funny on social media as they are when they cut promos. And Lacey Evans is that. Like, and once again, you'd have to be really ridiculous to think that wasn't set up.
Well, you have Kenny Omega talking about NXT as a developmental territory, and I mean, there's not a single woman in NXT that's at the low level that Lacey Evans is at as a wrestler.
Yeah,
so there's that.
There you go.
Yeah.
That
was bad. I mean, you know, man, as a Canadian doing a sharpshooter that bad, you can't come back from that.
No, it's brutal. But I mean, her character work is great.
That sharpshooter was so bad that it made the Rocks look perfect.
That's fair. You know what wasn't bad though? Is the fact that the Fiend is still causing havoc on Raw. They messed around with the intro video and stuff. They made it the Fiend thing. The Firefly Funhouse is interesting, but it was kind of like...
Yo, one sec. Yo, how long are we into this? He hasn't even brought up Sasha Banks yet. Wow.
We're getting there. I already botched Carmella's name, and you made fun of the jacket.
Oh, you guys
Carmella,
already...
you look beautiful on the jacket.
Shut the show down.
And Chalkline is great, okay?
Okay, yeah, no, sorry.
Back to the Fiend. Let's get to the Fiend before we get to my girl, Sasha Banks. Both Carmella and Sasha Banks had a huge week this week.
I'm still not sick of seeing the Seth gifs with all the captions.
I just think I think they need to stop having Seth crying. Like, last week it made sense. He got beat up by 5 guys.
You're overthinking it. In a match, you can get 2 guys over at once.
No, 100%.
But when you're building a character, one guy's got to be sacrificed. And why not sacrifice the babyface? And
no, for sure. But like, they could at least had him like roll out of the ring or something. This week, why have him crying in the corner again while the Fiend's looking? It was a cool visual.
Well, it's like 2 things. First of all, anybody that's ever been that scared in their life, you freeze up. Nobody, unless you're like a trained like Marine or something like that, thinks like that on their toes when they're terrified.
Yeah.
You freeze up, you clam up, right? And then same thing too, if they're going for that horror movie vibe, what always happens? They run the wrong way. They run upstairs. They don't run outside. They just stay there and like start walking backwards. Like, no matter what way you look at it, it fits the character.
Do you think there's any like future cryptic message in what happened with Braun and then him tweeting afterwards that, sorry about that, old friend, it'll all make sense in due time? Or is that just something he's doing to play along with the character and just kind of...
I think it's both. I think, well, first of all, like, Bray obviously is really into, like, horror movies and stuff like that for much. And, like, good screenwriters, good script writers always say you never mention something like that in dialogue if you're not going to come back to it. Mm-hmm. And we all know the way WWE operates. Well, we think we know the way they operate. So I don't think... They might, and I like to think Bray has a lot of ideas in the back of his head.
Yeah.
But he's not gonna forget that he dropped that little tidbit.
Yeah.
So when and if the chance comes, he will bring it back around to that.
So I've said it a lot of times. It's another thing I've said a lot of times. I love the continuity of the Bray Wyatt character. I love
anything that rewards us for watching and remembering stuff. I'm all for it.
I love how there's callbacks when he does stuff.
That's why like we've always loved like the New Day's promos when they bring up stuff that happened in like 98 or something like that. It's like, I remember that.
So like the time Kofi came out of the time machine, he was speaking Jamaican. Like,
or was it the Usos? Moment. Like the Usos, like, getting X-rated like your boy Xavier. Like, I know what that's about.
Yeah, little insight and tidbits, and like when they call back on things, they're great. But I always do appreciate the fact when it comes to Bray Wyatt, no matter what his character is, like when push comes to shove, if he needs that back, like he's always had the ability to call back Harper, call back Rowen. And let's not forget that we were introduced to Braun Strowman through the Wyatt family.
Pretty decent visual too, seeing him put the mandible claw on Braun. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, and and that's another thing. Like now there also is the potential. We talked about how would you fantasy book the finish of that match. And that's the thing that's really cool about this, because they've given us so many ways that he attacked Kane, he attacked this person, he attacked them. Now it's like, well, maybe Braun loses his shit and comes after Bray.
It's not even that too. Like, just circling back to the thing you were saying about Seth. Like, it's not just us. I'm pretty sure every single person that watched that segment was either thinking, why didn't Seth just roll out of the ring, or why didn't Seth attack him while he was on Braun? And we're all thinking that. So that's got to be part of the story, because we're all thinking it. So hopefully... I like to think it's going to go somewhere.
Some mind games in the cell or something?
No, not even that. We're all going to be like... So when we're like, okay, like, why did you do that? He's obviously afraid. And like, so... I'm just hoping they bring her back around to it, because I think everybody's wondering why he didn't either attack him or why he didn't just roll out of the ring instead of just staying there frozen. Right?
Honestly, that's one thing I'll say about previous eras, like the Vince Russo era in the early 2000s, is they kind of knew how to continue a story based off little things that happened before. You know, and that's something they kind of lost throughout the years, I think.
Well, I think for the most part, what we get is guys coming out essentially acting like the previous Monday never happened.
Yeah.
And then they'll just give us, in their promo, they'll give us a summary of what happened and then act like it. And that was people's like really big problem with Cena for a long time.
Yeah.
He'd come out and pretend like the loss never happened, whatever happened last week never happened. And it really bothered people because it's like, dude, like show some emotion, get angry, remember something.
Yeah. Like
sell something.
Or like like he would lose a big match against Rock.
All the best TV shows, you know, you see character development through the weeks. Through the season.
I still think the funniest thing is because we watched this at your house was that one. I think it was Extreme Rules after he lost or he beat Brock. He's like, "Hey guys, I'm gonna take some time off. I got a divorce."
No, and then he went and got divorced.
And then he came back like the week later.
He says never give up, and then gave up on marriage.
And then he comes back like a week later. We thought he was gonna take time off, and I remember
you were excited.
Yeah, because that was the time I really didn't like Cena, and I'm like, "Oh, time off from Cena would be great." And
he does that little promo after, guys, I think it's time for me to step away, take a little bit of time off.
Yeah, and then he's like back the next week. I'm like, what's going on here?
And his lawyer's just like, nah, let's just serve some papers.
And then there was like this weird thing, like Orton got divorced, became the champion. Cena got divorced, became the champion. It was a weird thing that was going on.
That's the WWE's plan. They only want you to date within the company.
That was some crazy stuff, man. I remember thinking that was so funny. But other stuff on Raw, like talking about theme music and stuff. You mentioned CFO and stuff, but the club has new theme music.
I don't like it.
I don't know how I feel about it.
I like the original one.
Well, I like AJ's music, and I hope when they do their own separate things, they enter still to their own music.
That'd be cool.
But as long as they're together, this music's
like
fine.
Evolution.
Yeah. But if they come out together and stuff, this music's fine, I think. Because I did like the club's music for the club. I like AJ's music for AJ. But if they're going to come out as the OC, rock it.
The graphic is so dumb.
Which one? The original?
The original, the only club that matters. And official? Then if they just had the OC, that graphic is cool. But all the other lead-up stuff is just like, that's so corny.
It's like they sat in the room and they couldn't pick what the O should stand for. It's like, let's make a stand for all three.
Hell of a match with the Vikings.
Yeah.
That was
Viking
real good.
Warriors are standing out. Was it Raw or
Viking Raiders?
My bad.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Raw or was it Smackdown that they had the AOP actually leave the interview room and beat up a couple people and then go back into it?
Smackdown. No, it was Raw.
I don't know which one it was, but I love the interviews. I love the back, but I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah,
like they literally just walked out of the locker room, and you know that we're in a locker room recording this.
Somewhere
backstage.
Somewhere, Aleister Black sitting there like, what? I can just leave.
You guys aren't here too.
You telling me I can just go home?
Like, are you telling me there's a dark room in every arena and Aleister Black and the AOP just hang out back there?
Right. That accidentally bump into each other. Oh, this is your dark room. Oh, sorry.
And
man.
not even that. Like they showed the camera crew too, so it's like.
Hey, we just obviously they're doing their interview somewhere. Like theirs is like a sit down interview, and like the one thing that always bothers me too is like we're all acknowledging the cameras there. So why are we like acting like they're in some like alternate universe or something like that?
Because and it's like because then you do segments where there's two people talking to each other, and we're not supposed to know that they're talking. We're like getting this inside.
Like they're having a secret conversation.
Yeah, but we're just getting the camera. But then that's what old wrestling was. That was wrestling in the early 2000s. Like Kurt Angle's backstage with Stephanie. We're really not supposed to see this, but we see everything. Now it's like. You really got to suspend your disbelief.
Like when Alexa grabbed the microphone, she's like, "Attention, everyone! Our truth is on the set."
Yeah.
Well, isn't anyone watching TV? No.
Yeah. Aren't there people watching the? You know, it's
like, don't you assume people are watching the show that you're on? When there's how many cameras in front of you? You're being interviewed by someone on camera.
But no, I thought it was funny. I think I would have been a little bit more okay with it if they went out and beat up the guys and then kind of looked at the cameras and didn't walk back into the room and sat back down in the darkness. Like, nobody turned on the lights while these guys left. Like, nobody thought, like, oh, they're gone. Like, it was good, though. I enjoyed it. I just thought it was funny.
Do you like Jim from The Office? Do a little wink and a nod to the camera?
Yeah.
Go back.
Like, I just found it a little bit, like, amusing more than, like, it was good, but it was also humorous to me. Like, I found, like funny. But
that's good of you to find a humor in someone just getting their asses whooped.
Yeah, man. I did. What I didn't really care much for, and like hopefully the match is good, and I do love the continuity of the tension between them.
Where are you going with this?
Is the Shane McMahon Kevin Owens thing? Because starting way back when the draft first happened, I always said, you know, Kevin Owens and Shane. Like when Shane returned, I'm like, these are two guys that naturally seem like they don't like each other and want to get along. We got a feud between them. We got another feud between them. I think the match will be okay. I want it to be over.
That's the thing. It's hard to get into it because it's just like I want to see Kevin Owens feud with the wrestler.
Yeah. And I think it was good when it first started. It was good when they had the Owens Shane thing from SummerSlam or whatnot. But it's like now, like.
Because I feel like Kevin Owens still hasn't got that good guy run yet because he hasn't really feuded with anyone.
Well, he had all this momentum, and then he started getting fined and fired.
The Shane thing's just dragging. I want to see him as a good guy cutting good guy promos against a wrestler.
No, 100%. I'm
not completely on the Shane's disappear wagon like everyone else. I think because of the nature of this feud, he needs to disappear for a while because of the way the whole feud's been. It won't make sense that they're still on the same show at the same time. But at the same time, on the other side of the coin, he has been a really good bad guy.
No, 100%.
Yeah.
It just, I think the feud,
he plays a smug bastard real well.
The feud with Owens has come to an end. Like, it's run its course.
Yeah.
And I just think if Shane was still a bad guy and started feuding with someone new, like if one of the guys that he used as a henchman turned on him and he was feuding with like a Drew McIntyre and Elias right now as his last final feud, just to write off.
Drew's due back pretty soon.
Yeah, that would have been good.
That ladder match is gonna tear it down though. That's gonna be sick.
No, I mean, like I said, the match might be great, but I think about like when they're cutting their promos on SmackDown, like I just don't care no more.
No,
you know what I mean? Like that segment isn't a standout segment.
Once they started talking about fines and all that kind of
lawyers and stuff,
you're sucked out of it because you're like, well, these guys wouldn't be. This is wrestling. Why are you guys talking like this? Yeah. Go do this in the courtroom then.
And the thing about Shane that is gonna be great is if Shane disappears for a while, he's one of those guys that when he does come back, we'll miss him. And two, when he does come back, he's one of those guys, and there's not many of them now. There's Triple H, there's Stephanie, there's Vince, and there's Shane. He's one of those guys when things are really bad and his music hits, you're like, oh, here's someone that can actually put a stop to something. Here's someone that can actually make that has that authority figure that's 100%. He's a McMahon. Mm-hmm. And unlike Stephanie, when his music hits, we'll actually be happy to hear it.
Yeah, you won't want to jump out of a window.
Yeah. So it's not like, oh, crap, Stephani's there. Whose balls are getting cut this week?
Yeah, now the show's about to go way more downhill.
Which top star is she going to make look like a mid-card, jobber?
Get out of my ring.
When Shane's music hits, you'll be like, oh, Shane's here. I like this guy. Haven't seen him for a while. Maybe he'll fix this bad situation, or maybe he'll make it worse.
We'll see. If you're having that deep of a thought when someone's entrance music hits, you're kind of a loser. But I think we're programmed to just cheer when we hear "Here Comes the Money." It's just conditioning. It's simple psychology.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's sitting there thinking like, this could go good. Start like computing Shane McMahon's whole history and the history of the authority.
No. I just mean like
people don't think that way.
When something's like really bad's happening, if there was like some sort of another like authority
like Daniel Bryan's getting beat down by a bunch of dudes or something.
Like Triple H and Stephanie are running ruckus over everything, and you're like, who's gonna be able to stop this? That was Shane McMahon. He's good as that other hero,
Sure.
Vince is causing a ruckus. Who's gonna come and stop this? Who's the authority figure that has the power to ability? Oh, Shane.
Yeah, maybe Shane will bring out that safety deposit box with all the secrets.
Yeah, that we never got to see.
Never.
You know what I mean? Like when it comes to a situation like that. There's some sort of like invasion thing. NXT invades the main roster. Who's the guy that come here and make a difference? Oh, Shane. Like there's only so many guys that can play that position and role now, and we're losing them. They're all getting older. Heyman's one of those guys. Bischoff, McMahon.
You're
Stephanie.
very deep. You should have a blog.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, you can get this dumb shit out in writing.
I just think
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what the show's for. Because I don't like to write.
Yeah. I think you'd be all right at writing.
I think I would be all right. I just don't like to.
I think you'd be a decent writer.
I don't know. We'll see. But anyways, that's just my thoughts. I think Shane's cool that way. I like dissecting characters.
We're having a moment there, and you have to butt anyways me?
Well, I'm just saying because my point is I like dissecting characters.
Rude, man. Some etiquette you have.
I know.
Does he speak to you this way?
Well, stop going to the judge over there, okay?
Can't help it.
Pay attention.
He's the only one in the room.
He didn't want to have a mic. We offered him a mic today, and he didn't want to have a mic.
He's the only one in the room that doesn't annoy me.
Oh, okay. Speaking of
okay.
Speaking of annoying,
we're having fun today.
Speaking of annoying angles, annoying people, Sami Zayn is still the mouthpiece for Shinsuke Nakamura.
What's annoying about him?
Just Sami Zayn's an annoying character. That's what his character is. He's supposed
to annoy you.
It is, but he's supposed to annoy you. But you know
what? Are you annoyed by him?
No, but you know what I really enjoy? Him dancing to Shinsuke's music.
Yeah, the best. Just hopping around. Yeah. I love when he hits the Kinshasa, man. Sami Zayn just like, he's just falling down backwards like, oh.
What I will say is this.
What do you have?
I'm down.
You had a match with Ali or something on SmackDown,
down with
right?
Ali being in the Intercontinental Championship race against Shinsuke. I think that's cool. I'd love to see Ali as the Intercontinental Champion, like the fighting champion.
That doesn't necessarily bring the belt or the feud or Shinsuke higher on the card, but it makes that section of the card more important and
Yeah.
more enjoyable, and
A
makes
good-
it feel more serious. It's
good-
nice having somewhere where we can have a nice
Yeah.
serious feud.
A good couple of workhorses, you know?
Yeah, and you know what though? I think
For the workhorse
I think
title.
because Ali's had good matches and he's had good showings against more like top guys, and Shinsuke as the Intercontinental Champion has been doing a good job since Sammy came with him. I think it's something we can take a little bit more seriously, and it's at a it just makes that second tier of the card stronger, I think.
And we know for a fact in a couple of weeks when the draft happens, things are going to change. We're losing the wild card rule. Hopefully, guys like Buddy Murphy and Aleister Black will be on TV more often.
Yeah.
And we can get back to things. You know, even this week, we really didn't have that much revival or Randy Orton. Like, people are missing because you're using the roster of both rosters on both shows, and then that cuts people out. And I think
No, it's good
nice.
though now because then you'll have a bunch of fresh people come in with fresh stories and stuff, right?
Yeah, no, it'd be nice because the best part of the first draft that happened not the first one, the one that happened in 2016 was that those first couple of weeks everything felt fresh and new, and I think they lost that for a bit. And
The first year, everything fell fresh.
yeah, no, 100%. And I think hopefully when this draft happens, we get back to that because it's nice knowing that like people have their homes and these are the stories we can get. And what we have got in this first half of 2019, 100% is a lot of new stars have kind of come up.
Yeah.
That haven't been able to get the spotlight they probably deserve. They've had their moments, they've had their matches, and I think when this draft happens, we're going to see them in more prominent roles and doing more prominent things and having better stories and stuff. And I'm looking forward to all this stuff that is old, all this Shane Owen stuff, all this stuff that we're like, we can't, like, you know, let's get this 4 horsewoman stuff out of the way. Yeah, we're going to kick the premiere on SmackDown next week with Charlotte and Becky versus Bayley and Sasha again.
I think especially because SmackDown's moving to Fox, we're going to be seeing a lot more of those 4.
Yeah, but maybe they'll be on the same show, maybe. But
I think they should.
yeah. But then there's not other girls that like Alexa's the only other one. We have Alexa and Sasha on Raw next week. I'm looking forward to that because their chemistry and their real life tension that drags on to the on-screen tension is great.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they don't like each other, they have great matches, in my opinion. And I'm looking forward to that. And I'm looking forward to the match. But I'm like, where are you going to put what other girls are going to go where?
It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, I know. But I'm just saying, it's kind of tough.
Why not just make one show have a stacked women's division?
And one show have a stacked cruiserweight division? And this is the cruiserweight show, and this is
why does it have to be a cruiserweight instead of a women's division?
I'm just saying.
Why can't they just use?
Give a little bit of
They have such a big roster. They don't need to shove like some other division on there.
I'm just thinking like back in the day they had like, you know, the cruiserweights just on SmackDown, and then Raw was just stacked with a bunch of hardcore wrestling.
Things change, man.
I know. I'm just saying they could do something like that again.
Maybe.
You know?
I think the cruiserweights can be mingled into NXT.
Yeah, that's what Triple H said, right? That 205 is probably going to get
scrapped. Said they'll have a cruiserweight presence on there. He didn't say anything about 205 Live getting scrapped.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought that was the case.
No.
I mean, I wouldn't be against that.
It could be the case, but nobody said that.
I wouldn't be against that.
Well, you don't watch it.
Exactly.
So why does it bother you if it exists?
Because I feel like...
That's outlet.
No, but I do feel like there's a lot of good stuff that happens on there, but I think it would get more people would watch it if it was a part of the NXT roster.
Yeah, but then only like maybe 2 guys would have a spot. Right now, you got an hour of programming where a bunch of guys can get a spot.
I mean, NXT's going 2 hours.
Yeah. There's also a lot of guys signed to NXT.
Yeah, there's also a lot of people on Raw and SmackDown, but you can make it work if you want to just kind of condense. There's so much TV, man.
Yeah.
You know, that's the way I'm thinking, like, you know. And now, I don't know, once again, it goes back, are people going to mingle down from the main roster down to NXT sometime? Or NXT guys still going to come up? Like,
why are you calling it up and down for?
I don't know, because that's how I'm used to it.
No.
Is it like a straight line now?
Definitely.
I don't know. This is like a whole new world.
You survey 50 guys from Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah.
Guarantee where do they want to be?
On NXT?
More freedom, more fun, better matches. It's what all these guys got into pro wrestling for is what NXT is.
No, 100%.
Except for maybe like, I don't know. Like, you don't think Elias would love to go back to NXT and actually do stuff that he never got to do? You think he likes never wrestling and just like, I mean, obviously he always gets TV time, which equals more pay, and the whole point of it is getting paid more.
Yeah.
But you can definitely tell, like, he definitely really likes wrestling, so he probably wants to show that he can wrestle.
No, that's true.
Know?
Yeah. I mean, he was on there today, did some stuff with Chad Gable, but once again, it wasn't wrestling, it was just more of a promo.
Like, you see the opening match or whatever it was, Dijakovic and Keith Lee. You're never going to get to have that match is going to get talked about for at least the next 2-3 weeks, which is a lot longer than we talk about any Raw or SmackDown match.
No, 100%.
And we're going to be seeing gifs of it. People are going to be talking about it. And nobody on Raw or SmackDown gets to have an outing like that.
What else happened on NXT today?
Killian Dane, Matt Riddle.
How was that?
I don't know. We haven't watched it. We already talked about that.
I thought you watched it because I thought you watched the Keith Lee match. So I was like,
oh no. I just saw video clips or whatever because we don't have it. We don't have USA.
Yeah, no, I know. I just thought maybe you streamed it or something. But
no, I don't do illegal stuff.
Oh, fair game. What? No, that's a lie.
I don't.
Sure. Anyways.
Except for UFC, a lot of the pay-per-views on were $60.
For sure. Anyways, next week, Adam Cole versus Matt Riddle for the NXT World Heavyweight Championship. You have Shayna Baszler versus Candice LeRae, which Rhea Ripley's going to get involved in, you think?
Maybe. She beat up somebody real bad today. I like Rhea Ripley.
And then the Street Profits against,
Undisputed Era. You
for
wore their
tag
jacket
titles.
last week.
No, I know. I just trying to remember.
Yeah.
I'm on the spot here. My notes closed on me for some reason.
Your list of things to talk about?
My list of things to talk about closed on me. But it's going to be a stacked show next week. So if you haven't tuned in,
thanks a lot, Apple.
I would definitely tune in next week.
For sure.
Yeah, like if you still haven't watched NXT.
So since we're gonna meet up, how do you want to do this? Are we going to watch? I hate to say it, I think we gotta watch AEW live.
I think so. It's the first AEW.
I think we have to.
Like we've had our history with NXT. This is like we have
it's pretty funny though. Like it's
how are we gonna watch AEW?
Just going back to it, huh?
How are we gonna watch AEW
Illegally.
See?
Yeah.
Look at this guy trying to be all like he's high and mighty. Yeah. Anyways, go on.
Yeah, but I don't think nobody believed me.
You never know, man. No. You never know with these fans. They thought Lacey Evans really swore to Kofi.
So, like going back to it. So we were talking about how like there's that one section, a small section. They like to think it's big, but there's a reason AEW tickets are on sale for $6 on StubHub and stuff like that. Anyways, we talk about how their fans, however big or small their fan base is, and I have nothing against them, but I'm gonna talk about them as if they're lesser because they are and they haven't been around, and they don't have 50, 60 years of history behind them. But people don't like to criticize them. So we just listed the matches on NXT, all real good matches, and I think they are pretty big matches, especially something like everybody knows who Matt Riddle is. A couple years ago he was like the busiest guy on the indies, who all these people love, by the way, the indie workers. But anyways, so people don't like to criticize them. So we have a great NXT show lined up here. And meanwhile at AEW, they're trying to hype up Cody Rhodes and Sammy Guevara like it's like HBK versus Undertaker or something. Like it's such a huge important match. Like I'm sorry, I've seen Sammy Guevara like twice. Great wrestler, but
not enough has been done for me to care about him.
There's a difference between putting the right hype behind a match or hyping up something that's not really there.
Moxley's a pairing.
And I get what they're doing too, which is really helps it, where they're saying if Guevara wins, Cody's going to lose his title shots because of the win-loss record. That's cool. I like that. That gives you something to follow, gives you a reason to pay attention. But I mean, if you're trying to sell me on watching it live every week, and like the big thing you're trying to sell me is Sammy Guevara versus Cody Rhodes, like I'm sorry, it's not that big of a deal. And
they still have that really like the women's title match with two people that I don't think anybody really cares about.
You're not allowed to say that about Nyla Rose.
I just do we care?
We're not allowed.
I'm just saying, do we care?
No, of course not.
And it's not anything or any reason, but have they really built her enough as a character for me to care?
I've
even watched being on the road to AEW TNT, and I still don't care. I'm not invested.
I heard on the road too, they made Rio look really good. I heard they made her look like a real good babyface.
No, they did. They did.
Yeah.
But I just still doesn't. I'm not enough. It hasn't been enough weeks or enough road twos or anything to really make me care. I think I'm looking forward to MJF versus Brandon Cutler because that's funny.
If they said something like Luchasaurus versus Cody Rhodes, I'd be like, okay,
yeah,
I'm definitely tuning in for that.
I'm trying to look at the other matches. John Moxley's making an appearance. Hangman Page is making an appearance.
He's fighting Pac.
Who is?
I'm pretty sure he's fighting Pac on that first show.
Hangman?
Yeah.
Okay, so it just says appearance. Maybe they've announced it more recently though. I'm just taking a look here on the interweb. And then is that 6-man tag on the first show with the Young Bucks
and the mystery partners? Hopefully LAX. Yeah.
So LAX and Jericho versus the Young Bucks and Omega?
Still listed as mystery partners.
No, I'm just saying, but like
I hope so.
That'd be cool.
That'd be great.
Yeah. Who else could it be? Like unless they bring like the Lucha Brothers again and we get like a little fun match on the first show. Then
why not? I wouldn't be against that.
Same here.
That'd be great.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. MJF versus Brandon Cutler, just because I'm an MJF fan and I like the way he makes fun of Brandon Cutler. So
who's Brandon Cutler?
Exactly.
Does he does he play Dungeons and Dragons?
That's exactly what MJF says. Like, who's Brandon Cutler? What does this guy do? What the hell am I wrestling this guy? And he started laughing. Like that's entertaining to me.
Yeah.
Just because MJF is such a good heel that I'm looking forward to see whatever he does.
I don't think he's a heel, man. I think he probably just is a dickhead.
Maybe he's just an asshole.
He's too good at it. It's too natural.
Yeah. But I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, when you put it two guys and girls that we already know and we already invest at the Undisputed Era.
The one thing though that
Candice LeRae.
The one thing AEW is gonna give us though too is we're gonna get a few surprises that we weren't expecting.
100%.
Or that there were no rumors about.
Yeah. And I wish them the best luck, and I'm gonna tune in. I'm excited. I wish there was an easier way for us to watch it here in Canada. But until then, I'm excited to
Wednesday Night Dynamite.
Try to tune into Dynamite and show as much love as I can. Yeah, man. Other than that, let's talk about Sasha Banks. Let's talk about the boss. After so long of losses, and it's okay when she loses. She's a heel. I get it. She picked up a victory against Nikki Cross in a very good match that I wouldn't mind seeing those two wrestle each other again in a decent feud or something.
She dropped Nikki real hard on the outside there. I like that.
I think they had really good chemistry.
Nikki was on her kind of piggyback style, and Sasha just boom dropped her backwards. It was great.
And I know this is gonna sound like me just blowing smoke because I love Sasha Banks so much and whatever, but is it a credit to the fact that Sasha Banks is just really good that almost anybody she wrestles, she has a good match?
She's the best women's wrestler on the planet and has been for a while.
Yeah, all credit to Nikki Cross too, but I'm now I was thinking about it because I'm like, next we're going to get Sasha and Alexa. I know I'm going to enjoy that. Then when you get the tag
Alexa's
match,
good. Alexa's at the level.
Yeah.
And I don't really watch much of Tessa because, she's not on a program I watch very much. I check out clips of Impact. I hear it's really good. It's just there's only so many hours in the week, right? So I haven't seen much of Tessa. So I'm just saying for my taste and what I've seen and what I've watched at Let's See since the last 4 or 5 years, there's not a woman I've seen so far, past or present, that's come close to how good Sasha is in the ring. And that's just a big part because obviously she's a really good athlete and obviously she works really hard to get better, but she's just a wrestling fan, so she gets it.
And watching her, I just always enjoy watching her wrestle.
We know.
And I can't say that about every women's match. I'm not going to sit here and say I really enjoy Lacey Evans.
One thing, I'm not a huge Bayley fan. I don't really know what the character is. I've never been a fan of the character. Don't like her promos, anything like that. Bayley's matches are never bad.
Yeah, no, she's not a bad wrestler.
She goes hard. She tells a good story, especially since she stopped. Especially lately in the last year, where she's been usually because she's a veteran now, more of the aggressor, controlling the pace of the match. Her matches are always good.
Yeah, she's not a bad wrestler. I've never disliked her for a wrestler. I just never understood the purpose. As a storyline character guy, I never understood why she was always put in such an important position.
They built it from nothing in NXT, and in NXT in that realm, it made sense. It was a great character, and it was good. They
let the character grow to the fans.
It was good, the opposite of Sasha, too, especially in that time. But, since the main roster, I'm not sure what. She's just... They called her the hugger, but she never really hugged that much. Yeah. In NXT, she literally... was hugging her character, when it started, was hugging everyone.
Yeah. I also will say, this weird heel... Bayley,
I like it.
Is a little... It's growing on me to like her a little bit more than her little cheesy fakeness.
Because does she realize she's being an asshole?
Yeah.
Right?
And I'm not going to lie, since the beginning of the show, if anyone's been listening to episode 1 or listening to any of the podcasts I've ever done before, anything like that, or even just follows me on Instagram, I'm not a huge Bayley fan, and I haven't been to her entire run. But this little douchey Bayley, I kind of like it.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I like where it's going.
Because it has a character, it's something new. The building from the bottom is not something that we're just supposed to know.
And you can tell she's finally got something she can sink her teeth into, character-wise.
Yeah, I like it. And now her and Sasha's baby faces together isn't as fun as her and Sasha's heels together.
Oh, that babyface thing was rough. That could have derailed. That did derail both of their careers.
And I like how they explained the story with Carmella and Bayley, because it was really random when Carmella came out last week.
They're best buds?
But they were best friends, and Carmella was to Charlotte, I've been friends with Bayley for this long. I've never seen her like this. I don't get it. And now Bayley's been aggressive with Carmella, and it made sense, and it put Carmella in a good spot for a week. And I love the interaction between Carmella and Sasha. They work. Is it a credit to Sasha that she just works good with people? I don't know, but it was good stuff, man. And to my girls, Mella and Sasha.
Is that a rhetorical question? I know you didn't want to answer that. That's how good Sasha is.
Sasha that great? Right? Is she the greatest of all time?
Oh God,
I don't know. Put her in the Hall of Fame tomorrow.
Why
Should have been in there yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, and the women's division on that sense is doing pretty good. 24/7 champions Carmella, and Sasha Banks is on a hot streak. And next week, I liked how she attacked Becky at the end of the show, doing the fence and the cage and stuff. Yeah. It was good stuff.
She's bringing the best out of Becky too. Becky's more interesting than she's been all year.
Yeah, I love how they haven't fully turned Bryan babyface either. He's just mad.
I don't think they should. I think they should keep him in a gray area because, what me and you were talking about a few weeks ago, he's just too good in that role right now, man. Why take that away?
He's just good being Daniel Bryan.
It's too soon.
And I think it adds another layer to the story if Roman's I don't know if I can still fully trust you, I
would like to see him have another minion again then.
Yeah, but Roman being I don't know if I can still fully trust you.
Yeah.
Instead of them just being on the same page and being friends. Have that tension of why should I trust you still?
Roman's just been in like no man's land. It's really weird.
I appreciate what he's doing though. That he's working a program with a guy like Erick, Rowen, and Harper, and doing this stuff.
Yeah.
I think that shows that, like, you know, what was the biggest beef with everyone? He was getting pushed too hard. He's getting pushed too hard.
Because I think he's one guy too. If he was just like, hey, like, I don't really want to do this program, they probably wouldn't make him.
Yeah, and he is a guy that could be on the top of the card in an instant.
Oh yeah, he's like
he's a made man.
Like, he's like the locker room leader kind of guy and stuff. Like, so if he wanted to, he could easily be like, nah, like this, I don't want to do this program. What is it? What do I get out of it? He could easily be like that.
It could easily be Roman and Seth's place right now. And be a lot worse because people hate it when Roman's in that position.
Yeah.
But the fact that
I'm ready for it now, though.
I'm ready for it if it happens on SmackDown.
I don't think it matters to me.
I'd rather be him against. I still thought I'm excited to see what happens with the Brock thing, but I still thought it was gonna be Roman that was gonna end Kofi's run.
Let's have Drew beat Seth, and let's have Drew and Roman duke it out for the title.
What does Drew? Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Let's get everything changed. Let's change up the top of the card because the top of the card is not very fun right now. Actually, no, the Fiend's there now. So that's helping a lot. That's ending the show on cliffhangers. We're getting to see him multiple times throughout the show. So
let's have Roman help elevate someone else. Like
Bray Wyatt's really made the whole show top to bottom seem a lot better just kind of by being around.
Because he's there at the beginning messing with things. He's in the middle with the Firefly Funhouse, and you wait till the end because you know he might show up.
Yeah, it's kind of
that makes the show better.
That's kind of like just like what I said.
I know, but I'm saying that's why.
Oh yeah.
You know. Because every hour you're waiting for something that he's going to do because you're so into the character and the story of this Fiend that you will actually wait, that everything you have to go through to wait for it is like whatever. It's like when you were watching a kid and you were waiting for Austin to show up.
I would like to see like not the Fiend, but Bray Wyatt, like Mr. Rogers Bray Wyatt, like just walk up in a week or two, just like go up like, hey, Braun, how's it going? Sorry about what my friend did like a couple weeks ago. He was out of his mind or something like that. And Braun would be like, what the hell? You going to come face to face with me right now, homie?
That'd be so funny.
Right?
When are they going to bring that Mr. Rogers one onto TV?
I don't know, but I really hope they do because that would be funny.
It would be really trippy, though. What else, man? I think that's really much it. There's not much else to talk about. Like we said, next week, there'll be a ton to talk about. There's a lot of things happening. We probably won't be able to talk about SmackDown because we'll probably record before SmackDown happens.
Yeah.
But we can talk about AEW's debut. We'll talk about NXT. We'll talk about Raw. These are all the go-home shows to Hell in the Cell. I guess we're going to have to talk about SmackDown and then
if people actually really care, I'm sure you can find a way to do some audio for
just
SmackDown.
A post-SmackDown show or something, right? Yeah.
And then all these people in your DMs begging you to come on can talk about SmackDown with you.
Look at you, eh?
Yeah.
Just hate everybody that tries to get on this show.
Well, are you trying to replace me?
I'm not trying to replace you. I mean, you called me a few names today, which is very, and you made fun of Carmella, which is not allowed.
I didn't make fun of Carmella. I
made fun of jacket.
I made fun of you. I made fun of her for making her look stupid on there. I didn't say nothing about her.
Carmella's dope. Chalkline's dope. Maestro's dope. Cardillo's dope. Paper Champions, check it out on Amazon. TWC show every week. You can check out the old episodes on the Wrestling Classic YouTube channel, or you can check everything out on The Vibe. New episodes dropping every week. We have a bonus episode this week. I got Paul Leesenby and Brady Roberts in here. We talked all about Paper Champions. We'll be dropping that out as a bonus episode. And other than that, man, Devin, is there anything else you want to add for this week? Mella's money. Sasha's the best. I got my stuff out.
I'm ready for SmackDown. We want to talk a little SmackDown next week real quick?
I want to do it. What do you want to talk about? Like what else?
Brock Lesnar, Kofi, man. What's going to happen? What's going to happen?
I still think Brock.
You love predictions. What do you predict?
I think Brock's going to take the W, man.
Yeah.
Just to kick off the run.
Yeah, I don't.
The worst thing about
I don't think he will yet.
But that's one thing I was going to say. The worst thing is that it sucks that there isn't anyone that's like a Money in the Bank champion or something that could just have some sort of swerve.
They should just have him keep it.
But Kofi beating Brock, big deal for Kofi.
Yep.
Legitimizes him a lot.
Yeah, so why wouldn't you just do it? Brock's already a made man. But
I just think going forward on SmackDown, people are going to want to continue to see Brock on SmackDown for at least a couple weeks.
But they're not going to. Because he's never going to be a week-to-week guy.
What was the debut episode of the original SmackDown?
Let Brock win the rematch.
Fair.
The original SmackDown? Like 1999?
There was a first one that was like a tag match. I think it ended with Triple H and Taker versus Austin The Rock. But then the actual debut premiere on UPN was
The Rock versus Triple H?
With Shawn Michaels as a special ref, right?
Yeah, something like that.
And Shawn screwed
super kicked the Rock.
And then Triple H won.
Yeah,
I guess, if history repeats itself, the champion remains champion on a brand new. Hey, can we talk about how dumb it is? And maybe you might not think it's dumb, but there's always, for something in my mind, I'll always think it's that they call Raw next week like the season premiere. Like there's seasons. Like in my mind, if there was seasons, it would start like the next episode after WrestleMania. Not.
I already told you I don't overthink things like that.
Not
it's something for them to promote.
I know, but it just seems so weird. Like season premiere. Like how is this?
I'm honestly
premiere?
Like.
Because other shows are having the season premieres.
I'm definitely gonna tune in on Mondays because I want to see what's happening with Ric Flair and Hogan.
That's what I want to talk about. The Hogan booze, man.
Who?
I almost thought we forgot about it.
The guy's a racist. Of course he's getting booed.
He's not a racist. I don't know, but like that's just. I mean,
obviously there's enough people
who
know him well and been around him and have said, "Listen, this guy's not racist." But I mean, he's never gonna not get booed after that audio clip that came
I just
out.
thought it was like. Whoa! Like he just got booed and his name dropped.
Nope.
But I'm looking forward to see the live reaction. Is Raw in LA next week? Because SmackDown's in LA. What's Raw? Arizona? I think it's in Arizona.
I don't know that kind of stuff. All the arenas look the same.
Well, next week they're gonna be looking different. Hopefully.
Oh, I hope so. Pyros and new stages.
New pyros and new stages.
Yeah.
Commentary teams. We don't know how they're gonna mix up, but this week, good shows. Solid Raw. You know, the Fiend stuff made it solid. Sasha made it solid. You know, the stuff with what else happened? I don't even know.
Yeah, you keep calling it solid, but you really don't even remember anything that happened.
SmackDown was actually solid. I enjoyed a lot of SmackDown though. But once again, 2-hour shows. I think it's easier to be enjoyable.
It is. It's hard to be. Yeah, it's really hard to leave a sour taste in your mouth when the show goes by that quickly.
And then also I guess what else should I really quickly mention before we go off there? Oh, King Corbin. I like the getup. I was
gonna ask what you thought about that a few minutes ago.
I like the black crown and it's true to his gimmick. And I think if you're gonna be a king, keep it true to your gimmick.
And he is a smarmy, smug kind of bastard guy, so it works.
And he looks like a villain king on like any type of TV show that goes into medieval times. You know, Game of Thrones type of style. Like that's how like a evil king would dress with the fur cape and the black crown and just more dark.
Sure.
I dig it.
Yeah.
And I like the remix of his theme. It was kind of cool.
Yeah.
That was a little tidbit from what's the show called, Raw. It was funny also when Carmella won the 24/7 championship and then Renee's like, you can now finally consummate your relationship, Graves, and he's like, too late for that.
Carmella.
Carmella, just repping today.
No, I got it.
I know, just letting you know.
Yeah.
Just in case
Do you know what the brand's called now?
Fatal Clothing.
Okay, you figured it out.
No, I knew what it was called the first time.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
The first week the second week that we did this? Yeah, you didn't know.
It was Fatal Clothing. Everyone check out Fatal Clothing. Corey Graves merchandise. Check out Chalkline. Get yourself some Chalkline jackets. But yeah, man. I think that's it for this week. Shout out to Maestro Classic, man. Best beard and beard oil and
loving
beard
it
wash
so
in the
far.
game. Hey, how do you like it?
Loving it.
You've used it, right?
Absolutely
I've been using it all the
loving
time.
it.
Do you feel a difference? Do you
yeah,
get it?
dude. And that like in the shower, like, and like even like mentally too, you're just like you feel like my beard's clean.
Like it looks nicer somehow. It's shaping better.
It really does. And that butter, like it doesn't like leave it like crusty. It doesn't like stay on your hands. It doesn't like start like wearing off. Like it's like I don't know. It's some good quality shit, man.
Like you're literally supposed to put a dab of both on like your finger and the kind of rub it in.
I think the directions say a nickel size.
A nickel size.
Yes.
I think I don't know why I said. I guess dab just reminds you of what's that show on YouTube? Hot Ones. So if you want to put a dab in your last wing here, you can eat it. But have you watched any of the Straight Up Steve Austin yet?
No, just video clips.
I really want to try to check that out.
Yeah,
too.
I watched a bunch of the Becky one and a bunch with the Sal from Practical Jokers.
Yeah, I heard it's really good. Paulie's the interview was like it's really good.
It's a cool concept.
Yeah, and it's Straight Up Steve Austin.
And it's like part of what I always liked about Stone Cold's podcast. It makes you feel like you're hanging out with him.
And I think that would be like hanging out with Stone Cold.
He seems like a real he's good at hosting, man. He's a real good host.
And he's just a good personality.
You feel like you're with your buddies.
Yeah. I gotta check that
out.
Straight Up Steve Austin.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's it for this week. I don't know. There's not much else to talk about for this week. Yeah. We have a ton to talk about next week.
Hopefully we come with more energy next week, man. Me and you were both feeling real tired.
Yeah, my first week back, like working again, and I just like before we came in here, like I'm surprised I even had as much energy as I did on this show.
Yeah, man.
And we apologize if we seem like a little low energy this week, but we'll be back at it next week. And I think we're going to have a lot to talk about the first ever episode of AEW, guys. AEW Wednesday Night Dynamite. Tune in on TNT if you're in the States. If you're in Canada, figure it out.
Yeah, I'll actually take some notes like your boy Ankle.
Yeah, okay. And yeah, man, we'll come back. We'll talk all about that next week. And NXT, it's going to be stacked next week. SmackDown's going to be stacked next week. Raw's stacked to an extent. I mean,
I'm down to see Flair and Hogan in a segment.
Flair and Hogan in a segment.
Who's Bray going to take out? That's the question.
Rey Mysterio, because he's facing Seth Rollins.
He's going to take out a legend too, though. Why else are they both?
Is Ray not a legend?
Why else are they both on the show?
Is Ray not a legend?
He's an active wrestler. You know what I mean, man.
You know what's going to happen? Dominic's going to take it.
Yeah.
The Mandible Claw Dominic.
I don't think so.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't think he's cleared by the commission.
The commission.
You know they all get cleared.
I know. I just mean like it just reminds me of like saying like you need what was that guy's name? The old president of WWF.
Jack Tunney.
Yeah, you gotta get Jack Tunney's permission, yo.
Yeah. This match will restart.
Jack Tunney's not down with Dominic.
We really gotta do some like segments or like a show where we talk about some old stuff.
We should have done something like that on this show because there wasn't that much talk about.
Because we, like, I'm telling you, let's just do it like Conrad style. We'll watch something old and just make some jokes about it. Talk about the good stuff too.
Review it. Yeah. Maybe another bonus episode.
Food for thought.
You know. Yeah. Anyways, I've been trying to wrap this up, but I keep remembering things that happened. But I think we're good, man.
Wrap it up then, man. I'll stop.
I think this is the end of this episode of the TWC show, episode 10, the quiet, tired episode.
Should we play Boys to Men at the end of this episode? End of the road?
End of the road?
Do.
I don't think we're only allowed to play like 30 seconds of anything. Anyway,
you play more than 30 seconds of everything on your Instagram, don't you?
This guy doesn't know how to stop. No. And we're out of here. See you all next week. Ooh, yeah, dig it.